Hello, hello, hello. I think we're live. Let's see what's what. We got a few names in the chat already. I've got on the screen. Make sure if your name's in the chat, especially if I gave you a number, make sure that you're here when I call your name. When I call that handle, if you don't respond, I go to the next name in the chat. Okay? These are speed readings, so we kind of got to pay attention and be aware and be alert. Once I begin your reading, I do not look back at the chat. Once I look back at the chat, I'm already done looking at your chart. So while you're sitting there, if you have one thing, maybe one or two words, something that you want me to focus on. Otherwise, I read really just what jumps out at me from your chart. Okay. So with that said, my name is G. You're watching Allastrology. We do astrology readings. This really is in the spirit of trying to help people out who might not be able to afford an astrology reading, an astrology session. They're not cheap. They are normally on the low end, like $300 for 90 minutes. So here we try to share the time, do a little bit of work for everybody possibly that we can. And sometimes people want me to spend more time on their chart. And they can do that by gifting the channel. So if they gift the channel, I don't tell you what to gift, right? If you gift the channel, I give it back to you by spending more time on your chart. All right. So with that said, we're going to begin. I think I said everything I needed to say. We do this a few times a week. We're usually live every Saturday night as well, 7 p.m. Central Time on the channel. We do different things too. Sometimes those are private. If you go to the channel, if we're not there, it's because we're private. So if you ever want to be involved in any of the private sessions, we do have a private lives, which is just like this, but it's very limited seating. It's a very intimate, small group, which would be great for like family stuff, but honestly, strangers just show up. And it works out. Like they have, anyway, it's meant to be kind of almost like a healing situation. It ends up being that way, and it works out really well. So if you're ever interested, just go to the Gmail. On the screen, pay attention to the spelling. It's a little tricky. It's different than the channel name. You follow? All right. So with all that said, first up is Dorothy. Dorothy, I think I have you on there as your handle, Dorothy, Dorothy's Journey, or Dorafina's Journey, right? Let's get your chart on the screen. And you had already given me your digits, which is great. I can get this up here quite quickly as long as everything's working properly. And bam, there we go. Awesome. Very nice. Love it when it works. So you are number 1, and we just go in order. If you want your reading, birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state, remember these are speed readings. You're welcome to share that out to whoever, if you know somebody who you think might benefit. We try to go through that chat fast and hopefully get to everybody. If not, we'll be here again, and we just kind of start all over again the next live stream. Okay. So Dorothy or Dorafina, we're going to call you, I think you even said Dorothy. Yeah, you got it in the chat. Okay, Dorothy. So let's take a look at your chart here. Let me get this off the screen. Actually, yeah. Okay. So here we go. All right. So that's that Libra Sun conjunct Saturn. Interesting. Okay. So that's strong energy. It's extreme energy, 0 degrees. That's the first thing that jumped out. Saturn creates restrictions, limitations, but it also represents long-term, and it's in relationships. So in other words, in that second house, this is someone who's quite serious about hooking up, and hooking up's the wrong word, but commitments, long-term commitment energy, partnerships, personal and professional. You also have Mercury conjunct Pluto. These are people who are deep divers, super detective energy. But Libra can be quite harmonious and creative and focused on beauty. And this would be looking for meaningful depth in a relationship, meaningful depth and beauty in anything, whether it's art, whether it's, what is that when they come into the home and they make it beautiful? But even art, buying art that has just some sort of a revelation to it, some depth and emotion. It's intense energy with the Pluto energy. It's soul energy. It goes deep. And of course, you mentioned this under one of the videos I put up recently about the Pisces moon, or I said it just to double check your chart. Pisces moon energy. Whoa. Here's what's tricky about this. In your chart, your Venus is going to be connected to that moon. And Venus is our money, our love, and our desire energy. Okay. So there's a strong connection between women, home, family, nurturing, childhood. Very strong connection. This connection creates an irritation a little bit, and it pulls in the desire energy. And because Venus is what we call your greater benefic in your chart, there might be some ego or even pride tendencies, or even drama and dramatic tendencies that you're not aware of. And it would be involved with children and childhood, because you have it in multiple ways, which is why I'm repeating it, because I'm seeing it show up again. But home and family and mothering, maybe mother wound, and even the partnership energy with the moon. If this is your actual birth time, moon in the 7th house, partnerships, sacrifice energy. So maybe partnering up and marrying somebody who has found that as part of their journey in the partnership. This would also be spiritual relationships, very creative energy. My relationship would be, you can't see it, you can't touch it, but we can feel it, really sensitive with the Pisces moon. Sensitive energy about mom, home, and family as well. And sensitivities in general are going to be heightened because your North Node and Venus are in your 12th house. This means our physical sensitivities of the heart, even literally the physical heart, is a very, very good possibility. Balance, unbelievably important in your chart. I mean, really important. So if the balance isn't there, it may cause disease. The imbalance can have a lot to do with pride, just because that's Leo energy. And when it is passionate and driven and filled with its own desire about how it thinks it should be, it is the authority or wants to be the authority, or even has recall of maybe being like the boss figure, the head honcho from another time, whether it's a parallel time, past life, whatever the heck it is, there's a tendency that's going to be there, like this innate feeling, emotion, knowledge of other times of just being in the one in charge, and really independent energy. You follow? Which can be on the rebellious side, actually. So keeping all that in mind, especially if health is a thing, you have this, if you look closely at the chart in the center, all the big stars, right? You got the Merkaba energy working all the way around, which can be beneficial. It means things happen easily, but this means everything happens easily. It can be shocks and surprises, sudden changes, because this is in the house of health. It can be that as well, right? This can be group energy, friend energy, social systems, social services, social work. Aquarius energy is technology. So the really wild thing is your innate knowledge, the history in partnerships, soul energy, equality, balance, fairness. It's all in this beautiful trine with your Mercury, which is going to be about talking and communication, significant partnerships, people that are important to you, but people where you have deep soul connections with. So, my friend, this is going to mean that everybody that you come into contact with, that you right away feel like, oh, these are my people, I treasure this person, or the opposite side of it, which is you have a very strong reaction possibly to somebody, because it can go both ways. It's not everybody that we love, but someone where we have a very intense response to. There's a connection to the past or some other reality, whatever I don't even know how to talk about time and life anymore, but that's just it. There's some sort of a memory, some sort of a soul memory that's there. So far for your chart, the main thing you want to keep in mind is the Venus energy, which can go extreme with desires, and for things being all about perfection. If we don't get that, it's likely going to affect the mental well-being and the health for sure, because you have that signature of perfection in your chart in a lot of ways. So meditation, prayer, music, sound, sleep, respite, all those things are probably going to help. They're going to help to provide understanding, maybe even forgiveness, and then, well, yeah, hopefully healing. All right, so I've got you in the system, and we're going to save that chart in there, and we're going to go on to the next chart. Who is next? I think I have it in here. Number 2 is, where did number 2 go? Anthony, right? Anthony's number 2. Anthony Simpson. Dorothy. Then we got Anthony. Okay, I see what you got. All right. So, yeah, let's get that up here real quick. And let's go to that one. I think I wrote it as, yeah, it's fine as long as everybody shows up as an individual, because it's one chart per Q name. Otherwise, it just gets a little out of hand, and, well, it's not fair to anybody else. So let's go to the next name on the list. Number 2 is Anthony. And now let me check the chat real quick before I begin the chart. Just real quick. Oh, you know what? What's interesting about that? The CNA thing? I think you were a Virgo rising, right? At 4 degrees. Yeah. Yeah. That's like that nurse energy for sure. But health and healthcare, big deal. But feminine energy. Okay, so we're still taking readings. I was just looking to see just to make sure. All right, so here we go. Let's get the next chart up. We just began. Get your digits in if you want a reading. We're doing astrology speed readings. If you want a longer reading, you want me to spend more time, you could always send a channel gift. Other than that, we're trying to catch everybody here and give everybody a shot. Okay, so now I'm on to, there we go. Anthony's number 2, whatever shows. Thank you for doing that. That helps. And here we go. So I'm not sure if you've seen your chart before. This is showing Cancer Sun at 9, Cancer Ascendant at 12. And your moon is Aquarius moon. Interesting. And your South Node is right there. Oh, wow. Fascinating, especially since the other chart, the South Node was at 19. So in other words, with that other chart at 19 and this one with the node here and the moon here, holy crap, past energy, unbelievable. Crazy, crazy soul energy, deep, intense bonds. And the 8th house also reinforces this, but it talks about even vulnerabilities, wounds, trauma, healing energy, but the connections to the past of friends, of authority figures, and you both having that. Wow, how fascinating is that? Moon being there, family, mom, home, nurturing comes up yet again. 8th house, strong connections, very deep connections. And look, freaking Pluto at 18, an exact trine. Oh my God, wild. If I didn't know better, I'm like, these charts are so similar. Okay. There are some differences, of course. But with this, the healing energy and even at the healing degree, holy moly. But this is going to be unconventional. This is going to be different. This is like this. It hasn't been created yet. Possibility for healing. It's very independent energy. Now, with that, this emphasizes that this is something that you've kind of already mastered in another lifetime or whatever. The healing energy, the working with the public, the home, the family, strong Virgo energy, cleaning, cleanliness. This also would have a strong nursing signature, but people don't have to be actual like nurses and stuff, right? We can just be people who are always available to help out, to try to make something better than it was. We're orderly, we're neat, we're the domestic energy where we can do some of the not so glamorous things in life, but we do them really well. And they're actually some of the most important things that need to be done. So this is something that you already have mastered. And at the opposite end is your your North Node. It's the Leo and the Aquarius energy. Fascinating, because for both of you, you both have eclipse energy being triggered exactly here, 20 degrees of Leo. Both of you have this because your nodes were so clear for the last chart and this chart. So this is an alignment with your soul's goal. This talks about a new beginning. This talks about possibly a new creative project, activity. We take authority of our own creativity. This is also heart and higher heart energy, physical heart and, spiritual heart kind of energy, but a healing. Father energy, authority figure stuff is here too. Values, money, income, what's mine, children comes up. 20 degrees is again the emphasis of healing the past and the vulnerabilities. So this can be a parental child bond if there was a wound about such things, for sure. The other thing too is you should probably see this. You have Uranus that is always in this gigantic T square with your north and your south node. Shocks and surprises, unconventional, but unbelievably psychic energy. Information comes through really strongly. Anytime people have that strong soul energy, it comes through big time. Your Jupiter also speaks to healing energy, Virgo energy, kind of like the domestic energy, whether it's home healthcare aides, nursing, and any capacity, alternative modalities, whatever that might be. But the goal here is your North Node. Your North Node, this is what's pronounced right now, especially since an eclipse is happening here and would already triggered for you because you have it at the exact degree. You have a lesson that talks about honoring individuality and stepping confidently into the spotlight. Now, does that mean you can't do it now? I'm not saying that because I see you have other objects near it. You have partnerships near it. You have a lot of energy near this. But there's something individually, something about your own authenticity that your soul is urging you to step forward with, right? And typically when this energy is on a spiritual level, on an elevated level, on a, I've kind of grown up or I'm leaving behind my childhood ways type of energy, it speaks to leadership roles. So a boss, becoming the boss, right? And for a lot of us, it's becoming the boss of ourselves, like taking myself by the hand and saying, I'm not going to abandon you. I got your back, because it's in the house of values, self-worth. You follow? So this might be something you've already accomplished. If not, the eclipse is helping you to embrace that and to work towards it. It's as if your heart opens. It's as if your heart opens and your soul is calling you to embrace the qualities that make you special. The Leo energy shines, right? So it's not about arrogance. It's not about pride. It's not, it's, it's just more about allowing one's self to be seen and appreciated. Okay. It inspires others to do the same and being able to have self-acceptance. That's the big message, self-acceptance. Okay. So Anthony, I hope that made sense. I hope that helps. And yeah, big eclipse energy, which remember, you're kind of sort of already in it. Okay. Okay, so I had a number 3. Who did I say was number 3? Did number 3 have all their digits? And did you have your AM and your PM? You did. I see it. Okay, so I'm going to call off Alexis. Are you here? Make sure you comment down below. Let me know you're here. And you're here. Very good. All right, everybody's on the ball today. Loving this. Prepared and on the ball. Okay, give me a minute to get this one drawn up. The other folks got here early, so that made it really lovely. All righty, and so this is July 2nd, 1999. Is that correct? (10:45 a.m.) Okay. We got Kingston. Kingston, New York. What do you know? Like New York is in the house. Have you seen your chart before? Let's take a peek here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so you were the third one in the chat with your digits in the chat. So you're number 3, and this is showing. Let me do that real quick. This is showing your rising is 12 degrees of Virgo. Wow. Your moon in Aquarius. Wow. Holy Aquarian stuff coming in strong with the first 3 people today. Whoa. Vertex, fated energy, Uranus, fated. Whoa. Sudden, fast, just lightning out of nowhere. And of course, this is astrology too. But science, technology, but home and family, father figure energy, 22 degrees. Woo, boss energy, authority, tricky energy, because it's got the emotions, which can be really detached and cold, possibly. Interesting energy at the exact opposite of the Venus energy. Whoa. All right, so let me find out. Let me see real quick before I cut into this. Have you seen this before? Yes, but not recently. Yes, it's me. Okay, great. So this makes sense for you. All right, well, you got your nodes at the 13 degrees in this chart, self. And it's, again, more Aquarius and more Leo energy. Holy crap. So the interesting thing in this chart is you have this North Node in Leo, which is just like the North Node in the Leo in the other chart that I read. That one is the same. It's like the same stuff, the creativity, the being recognized for your unique gifts and sharing them proudly, not with pride, not with arrogance, but sharing that proudly, honoring the individuality. Okay. And so you're trying to get away from group approval. For anybody who has a North Node in Leo, we're trying to get away from group approval, from my friends and from like the authority figures approving of me type of thing. With a North Node in Leo, we're more about, this is who I am creatively. I know I'm unique. I know I'm different. And creatively, I'm going to stand out. And I'm supposed to. And I'm supposed to shine. I'm supposed to radiate. And with, the Leo energy wants you to feel good about it, wants you to have fun with it. That's the really important part. Your numbers, your digits are telling me you're probably not going to struggle with this as much as some other folks might, because this is at an Aries degree, which tells me Aries is young, it's impulsive, and you have a lot of signature points for being very independent energy anyway, right? Now, when were you born? 1990. So there might be bits and pieces of it that are evolving and developing for you, but let me see where your sun is. Jupiter's your greater benefic. You might have some tendencies that are hidden, but you have strong creative energy as well with a Jupiter in Taurus. But that also speaks of the hidden wounds of the past, vulnerability. So far, these 3 charts, a lot of connections, even though they're very different, a lot of connections with creativity, group energy, science, medicine, authority figures, soul energy, and just those group connections and looking for group approvals. But in this time, looking to stand and shine for my individuality, but in a creative way, very uniquely creative way. Even your Venus, which is creative energy, she's in this unique signature spot, but it's filled with creativity as well. This can be music, like performing, singing, writing, dancing, just creative, performative, creative energy. That could even be a mixture with water in there because it's in the 12th house energy. So the man, it's just crazy how concentrated this is with the other charts. It's amazing to me. The healthcare industry, institutional energy, and being the boss, independent and being like, whether it's management energy, literally CEO energy, like there's strong energy here, and it is connected to the public. Okay. The public and healthcare in some way, because it's the 6th and the 12th house. And that's what those houses are. And so the fascinating thing too in this is you have fated energy that comes forward really strongly. And I want to share something with the fated energy because you have it in the 12th house, which means other lifetimes, past lives, and soul history. Some call it karma. Okay. And that means you're going to meet people, right? Sporadically, just, out of the blue, events will occur. And this can have to do with feminine energy. This can have to do with people that resonate deeply with you, like tribal energy, even home, history, ancestry, people like that. Maybe they are from the same country, from whatever, right? But the thing is, anytime fated energy is presented, right? A meeting, a chance meeting, a person, we usually have a decision we have to make of some sort, regardless of how small, some sort of a decision. The thing about the fated energy, and in this Leo, this can be romantic partnerships too, by the way, in case I forgot to mention that. The thing about this energy is fated energy is like we energy, okay? And fate is literally used as the bridge to one's destiny. And destiny is just me energy. There's no we in the destiny. You follow? So I'm just feeling strongly that is something that was important to share. And hopefully that makes sense in some sort of way for you. But the other last piece that's jumping out strongly is there's a conflict between your needs and the needs of other people. And we almost feel like it's tug of war when we have this energy. It also means you're uncomfortable in maybe like social situations, right? Maybe more comfortable behind the scenes or within technology, or something like that. Finding a balance may prove to be difficult. It does mean that greater understanding about relationships and in the give and take, whether it's in communication styles, timing, whatever it is, right? That it takes more work in that area. But because your moon is involved with the energy that I'm reading for, it is like a tug of war between my values, my love, and home and family and mother and nurturing energy, and maybe mom and dad mixture, actually, because you have that strong combination with the Aquarius moon there at the 22 degrees. All right. I hope that made sense for you. And we're going to move on. And let me see who was up after. Jessie here from South Australia. What's going on, Jess? Remember, if you're here in the chat, I'm looking at names that have the birth digits in. So you got to make sure your birth digits are in. Jess from South Australia, do I already have your digits? Because if you're here in the chat, unless you come like a ton, I'm not going to have memorized whose digits I have, right? So if you're showing up in the chat, you want a reading, make sure your digits are with your chat. Make sure your digits are there. And if they're not, then you say, gee, you already have my digits. I'm already in your system. Otherwise, I just keep on moving. Go to the next name. So just let me see if I have you in this system here. I mean, I know there's a couple of folks I did with that name, but you could be a different Jess altogether. I don't know. You know what? I don't have a Jess in this system. Sometimes people show up in different names. All right, so we're going to move on. And then if you get your digits to me, great, but we'll pick you back up once wherever your name shows up with your digits. You follow? So, hi. Yes, we're doing readings. Yes, this is astrology. Oh, I know this one. I know I got your digits. Yes, tell me about my career. I believe I have your digits already. I don't often, yeah. Let me check. Let me double check with the R. The Rahu. That's how I remember. I'm like, my brain's all Rahu and Ketu. Which is that unpredictable energy. And you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. I got you multiple times. November 11th, correct? 1998. Got you in here. Let's get you up on the screen. Here you are. Tell me about my career. All right. So whether you're looking for a career, whether you're in a career or applying, I've had a lot of folks, especially coming out of India, who are like in the middle, who are in school, who are going to be graduating. Been hitting a ton of folks who will be hitting the scene for career. You have domestic energy right at your midheaven in this chart. Domestic energy. All right. But you have a nice trine, sweet trine from Aquarius, from Uranus, from technology, boss, authority figure in Capricorn. Holy crap. These are the ultimate authority figures, and fated energy as well. Cirrus energy. This is a combination of being able to supply a need, and it's in Taurus. So yeah, something to do with food is maybe, you're right, whether it's farming, who the hell knows. When it comes to the supply chain and food, whether it's from fertilizer to seed to actual vegetation, harvest, whatever that is, right? You've got that big in here, but you have Uranus jumping out in the Cappy at 15. And this, at that degree, talks about, first of all, it would be big systems. Could be global systems, possibly. Even institutional kind of energy. I see even your sun is like an institutional degree in professional and public professional partnerships. 11th house connection, right? This Uranus rules all this over here. So yeah, something to do with that, because your Venus is right there, supply chain stuff. So that is just the first thing that jumps out. Again, this is another chart. You guys got, everybody, y'all got these gigantic Merkabas in here, right? You got these mystic rectangles all the way around the chart. Basically, what you focus on, what's important to you, what you aren't going to give up on, what you're going to complete and follow through on, you're going to succeed at. Okay. The caution would be with your desire energy in the workplace, because you have Sirius and Taurus in the 6th house here. Now, again, because it's a nice trine to Uranus, these folks, they might get in positions of authority, and there may be, when we get in positions of authority, we tend to possibly abuse our authority. I would be extra cautious for your own sake, because you have fated energy connecting with Isis energy and Aldebaran, which, yeah, the voice, the talking, having something to say, and yeah, the 6th house and desires in the workplace, that can be a little tricky. Okay. The other thing is Jupiter was just, so this is, I'm using a different chart on this one, but that's okay. You're going to have a spark going through, possibly for travel coming up. Okay. Once the Jupiter hits that Leo energy for you, yep, that healing energy, that transformational change energy from a child to adult on some degree, right? Because then the 9th house is going to light up for you. Now, if your career involves travel, or if you're looking for that, that makes sense in this chart anyway, because your Mars is here. Mars and Leo in that, and it's at the money degree. So I would say, when I see this kind of energy, especially professional partnerships, corporations with Neptune there, that can be healing institutions, yeah, this can be the drug industry, Neptune, right? This can be theater, Hollywood. Like, there's a lot of ways this Neptune can go, but it's conjunct to money, the 2nd house cusp line of my career and my long-term income. So I'm feeling like for a chart like that, I would say that you're basically just having to pick and choose what you want to do and stay focused on it. But just be cautious with the desire and the abuse of power. You follow? But yeah, signature numbers for institutional energy corporations shows up pretty largely here. And even again, yeah, tech and the technology with the Jupiter at the 24 degrees in Aquarius. Yeah, beautiful. It trines your sun. If you don't have success, it's because you're getting in your own way. Like, seriously. Like, that's just the reality. Just keep that in mind. We're moving on. So let's get up. Let's see, what do we got here? She's a great artist. Oh, Yeah, I see that. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. They were with my chart. They were with my chart. Jess, did you? Okay, Jess, yeah, I see you up there. Okay, well, we're going to come back around to you. Tell me about my inheritance. You don't have a birth information, so we keep scrolling. Explains a lot of family crisis. Yeah, children energy. Got it. I hear you. Yeah. Okay. Truth goes unspoken. Okay. Disabled. Got it. Yeah, that's hard. Okay, here we go. Jeremiah, you're the next person who has their birth information here in the stream. So we're going to start all over again. You're number 1. How about that? Make this simple, although this might be confusing, but I'm going to put you just Jeremiah Jeremiah 7186. You were born, this says August 21st, 1990, Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm going to put you at number 1. So everybody after you, Evelyn Blue, you would be number 2. Jess Hood, I see your digits, Jess. You'd be number 3. I take care of wife and children, unsure of life purpose other than that. Oh, I think that's a big deal. Yeah, I think that's a very big deal. No wonder. I mean, seriously, like the caregiving aspects in that chart were strong energy. Strong energy. You need to pencil out fun time for yourself, whether that's creative time, but find little moments where you can laugh and feel like a kid again, even if it's, 30 minutes a day. That's absolutely when the Leo energy and the eclipse energy for you, because I remember that chart. All right, I'm sorry. Moving on. Jeremiah, are you here? We're looking for Jeremiah. Give me an answer. If you don't give me an answer, I move on. Oh, Jeremiah said I'm here. Great. We're going to create this chart for Jeremiah and get you going here. Jeremiah. Y'all remember that song, Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog? Was that maybe those weren't the lyrics. Were those the lyrics? You know how when you're younger and you think you know what the lyrics are? Leigheigh. Great. Okay, so we have August 21st, 1990, correct? And I have 11:18 a.m. I love it. Got the digits all there. Very good. In Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay. Let me get Utah in there. We will be all good. So have you seen your chart before, Jeremiah? I just got to double check to make sure this is an accurate chart. I know the software is in the middle of making sure that their stuff is accurate. Every blue moon, they'll throw up different coordinates, and I'm like, oh, Lord, seriously? All right, so this is showing for Jeremiah. If you've seen your chart before, if you give me your moon sign in its degree, that's usually pretty accurate. And the rising, I have a moon at 13 degrees in Virgo, and I have a rising at 21 degrees in Libra. Yeah, more Libra energy at 21 degrees. And wow, large amount of energy in Scorpio. You've got Juno and Pluto conjunct. Holy crap. Okay. Interesting. Chiron up there near the midheaven with Pallas Athena on the midheaven. Jupiter at 0. Whoa, you just had your Jupiter return. Career. Did you get your recognition, your rewards? Did that happen? If this is you, you got Jupiter, you've got the South Node, you've got Venus conjunct the South Node. Okay, considering your options for your future, you're thinking about the long term, children, the boss energy, whole lot of that. Wow. Okay, so this looks like you. Thank you for answering. I appreciate it. Right, so here's first things first, right? A lot of Leo energy, a lot of Scorpio energy. That energy, It angles each other, especially with the Mars over here at 24 with the vertex. So it's a large T-square in the chart. You do have tons of other blue lines, tons of other things to help ease this energy. You've got mystic rectangles and trines all over the place. So that's lovely. You do have what's jumping out is your kite. Your kite is powerful because it involves these house cusp lines. It is a battle. Well, maybe battle's the wrong word, tug of war, whatever the hell, between career and home. Authority figures, mom and dad. This is one of those like flipped charts, but the Pallas Athena gives you the ability to strategize up there. So this is a huge benefit, and really like a finger on the pulse of the public type of energy. So your Gemini energies, you got some in the 8th, some in the 9th. These can be teachers, preachers. These can be investigators. These are people who can be even vloggers and bloggers, but writing about and communicating about deep emotions, wounds, scars, vulnerabilities, past life traumas, or even traumas from now, because you got Mars, and the Mars is your malefic planet. It is in Taurus in the 8th. So desire, extreme stuff. This is something possibly behind closed doors, some subconscious type of energy, something from the past, something to the body, involving the body, right? 24 degrees Mars. It can also add up to something that has to do possibly even with a surgery or surgeons. It could be something like a scar to have something like an actual literal physical scar, right? As opposed to a deep emotional scar, which the 8th house absolutely is deep emotional wounds. And you have Mars here. Mars can be, it will be a deep connection to the emotional wounds, to the energy of the past. And if we don't release it, if we don't let it go, like it can manifest in that Mars energy, right? In the body, even in the head, whether it's through headaches. It's a little tricky when it comes to stuff that's subconscious. So the Mercury energy, nice trine right there. So the communication, being able to communicate, reinforces you have just a ton of desire, but a desire to communicate and to relate it to health, actually. There's a strong connection here. You've got vertex energy, opportunities, people that you meet. Remember, the vertex is that energy that comes up as we energy, people that, and opportunities, decisions that have to be made. But it is the springboard. It is the bridge. It is the path to the destiny energy. Like, this is what I was born to do energy. That is not fated energy. You follow? But we can utilize the fated energy, the opportunities, as a tool, as a leap pad type of thing. And that would be in bonded relationships. People that you value, maybe even jobs, because it's in the 2nd house, jobs, money, income. This would be authority figures, boss figures, parental figures, or even your opportunity of being in that position. But shared values, shared bonds, deep connections with these individuals. A Virgo moon, just like all these other charts so far, these people have that caregiving ability, doing the mundane things, making something better, cleaning, just, whether it's food, laundry, service industry, whatever the heck, but it's in the 11th house, which is group energy. So it puts it on a large scale, right? Large scale stuff. Knowing how to connect the dots to the larger picture. Nice combination in the 11th house for astrology, by the way, because a Virgo is just relentless with details. It just doesn't let it go. And I'm just trying to see, there was one other thing. Yeah, this was jumping out. Moon energy again comes up because Sirius is right next to it. It's your sun. This is how you radiate. This is how you feel energized. And there's a need maybe for recognition and to be seen, maybe a need for the spotlight even, especially among friends, but with friends, but standing out, possibly because and for my creativity. You follow? Sirius is connected to this, right? But it also may be connected to learning, anything connected to creativity and learning and teaching can be a possibility here for sure with the 27 degrees. And you've got art in the 5th house down here with Pisces. And that doesn't just mean art as in, painting, drawing, whatever. I mean, it can be sound, playing instruments, or it can be just picking up, it could be anything, crafting, whatever, however the hell you use your creative energy. You have Neptune in Capricorn in the 3rd. You've got the Uranus there. Woo. So with that said, that's going to be more creative energy. Neptune in the 3rd. That's more music, more sound. It is in Capricorn, so it does kind of dampen it a little. And it also adds that instead of it being something that I can't hold, Capricorn energy would be, I'm creating this and it's something I can see, something I can hold onto and feel, right? It's something tangible and material. So, yeah, you're building something. And if you're not doing it at this moment, well, you're going to be building. How about that? Because you've got Saturn there as well. All right, we're moving on to the next chart. Let me make sure I save that, because if you come back, whenever that is, no rush, no urging. You just come on back and then I got your digits. It's easier. All right, Evelyn, you're number 2. 3317 is Evelyn, October 31st, 1987. I feel like I've seen your chart or the digits. I'm interested in the potential of a new relationship. We had a significant interaction on the Virgo eclipse in March 2025. He's a Virgo rising. Okay. So let me see. Do I have you here? Or maybe you left your name before and I didn't get to you. Let me see. EFGEF. Evelyn, look at that. I do have you here, Evelyn. All right. These are speed readings. Before I forget, let me remind everyone, these are speed readings. Trying to get to everybody. If you have a question or a concern and you want me to spend more time on your chart, you're welcome to send a gift to the channel. That way I spend more time with people who gift the channel. Otherwise, we're doing speed readings, okay? So we try to get to everybody. Let me get your chart on the screen, Evelyn. There you go. Shazam. Big kite. Another chart with a big kite energy, big kite. And the tip of your kite is in your 7th house of relationships. And, okay, so this is kind of tricky. It's relationships, and that was your question, right? Yeah, and the kite's what jumped out. You do have multiple kites that point. I mean, yeah, you have multiple points all the way around the chart. House 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got them all over the place. Your 7th house has Neptune in it, and this can make life tricky. Also, the 29 degrees on your descendant right here. You see Uranus right there? That 29 degrees on Saggy is freedom. It is beliefs about the future, what I want for the long term. You do want a deeply committed, intensely committed relationship. This is what Scorpio energy demands, 110% commitment, not just on a physical level, but emotional, spiritual. Like there's a crazy amount of soul depth. I know that sounds weird, soul depth. How about soul energy? Crazy depth energy connected to Scorpio and the soul and Pluto and your sun conjunct Pluto. Wow. Mercury at 0. Venus at a Venus degree in Scorpio. Yeah. This is the energy that can turn into attachments. Absolutely. So in a chart like this, there has to be some honoring of freedoms, because this is your partnership, literally the person that you want to be serious with. It says freedom. It says freedom. It does also say long-term bonded, committed relationship, because Capricorn's there. But what makes it tricky is Sirius. Sirius is right next to Neptune. Neptune is the veil, is the illusions, delusions, confusions about those partnerships. So we may think this is that person, and I'm not saying it's not. I wouldn't make that comment without seeing that person's chart with your chart. And I like to look at their entire chart, right? That's just the way I do things. I like to be thorough. So all I'm saying is that when we look at ourself, which is what looking at a chart is, we're looking at ourself energetically on paper. If we know ourselves really well, then we know this. Then we know this about, how I am in relationships. Sometimes I put somebody on a pedestal, or the question just becomes, am I seeing the relationship clearly? Are both of my eyes wide open? Am I seeing that person realistically? You follow? And am I open to seeing the truth? Again, I'm not saying this isn't that person, okay? I just want to read what's in the chart for your seventh house because this is what's being impressed upon me strongly at this moment as I'm reading this. Galactic center is also here. And so there can be strong energy for connected to needs, beliefs about the future. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Jupiter's over here at 22. Okay. Okay. Venus is your great benefic, by the way. So since the Jupiter is a retrograde, it's in the 11th house. This is fast. This is sudden. It does have a long-term energy attached to it. It does have authority figure. Jupiter, whether you're, whoever you are looking for masculine energy, because that would be Jupiter. Jupiter is the masculine energy. It rules your saggy stuff. And it's a trine to Uranus. So whether it's somebody older, somebody wiser, somebody who just seems to have more knowledge than you, someone you look up to, is it a friend? Was it a friend? Is it somebody who's a friend and you're hoping it grows into something deeper? I got to be honest with you. If that person fits into the placement of this chart, there's multiple points. Uranus, Saggy, 11th house, Jupiter, Aries, very spontaneous, very momentary. Once we mature, once we grow up, because Aries, remember, Aries is literally the fine wine, but it doesn't become a fine wine until decades sometimes, you see. But once our Aries energy becomes that fine wine, we are able to see ourselves more clearly and the relationships. Now, if you've done all that work, then what I will say on top of all that is Jupiter is going through Leo right now. Okay. So there's Jupiter at 4 degrees. You don't have anything here in your third house. So we're going to put the sun there because that's the ruler. And it's down over there in your chart. This is the connection to your Scorpio energy, deeply bonded energy, romantic partnerships, but also possibly children or creations of some sort. But partnership energy comes up big time. Now, when Jupiter gets to the 23 degrees, it's a possibility you might hear something because that's your third house of news and information. Okay? Where there might be a little something. But I just want you to be aware there's a retrograde that's going to occur with Jupiter. And retrogrades mean we're rethinking things. We're rethinking the future. This is a connection with a romantic partner, possibly children, and something new because it's at 23 degrees. And that Jupiter is going to get close to that for you, just so that you have an idea. Jupiter's going to get close. You're talking mid-October, where Jupiter gets close to that third house cusp line. Something might happen sooner than then. But yeah, come back again if you want me to take a little bit further, deeper dive, look into that to see. But overall, I would say that, anything's possible. And if you're telling me, as I'm looking now back at the chat, that he had something at 4 degrees in Virgo, he's a Virgo rising at 4 degrees. Well, that trines your Neptune almost exactly. Remember what I said about Neptune, the dreamy partner. Not that they're not real, okay? But are we seeing them clearly? Are we seeing them truthfully? That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying you're wrong at all because I don't know this person. I don't have their chart in front of me. I don't know nothing. I just know that your Neptune is on his ascendant. You follow? So that automatically means, am I seeing this clearly? That's all. All right, we are moving on. I hope that gave you some clarity and just something to think about maybe, or to work through to get more clarity. Jess, are you here? Jess Hood, Adelaide, STH, Australia. Jess, are you here? I need water. Where's Jess? Oh, I grabbed the empty water jug. Jess is here. Yay. Okay, so I'm assuming that's Adelaide, South Australia, right, Jess? Okay, let me get you up here. Let me get your chart drawn up. So Jess is, we're going to start with Jess as at number 1. So if you've just gotten here to the Allastrology live stream, we do Allastrology readings. These are speed readings unless somebody leaves a gift to the channel then I spend more time. Other than that, we're trying to get through the chat. And we're going to start off at number 1 again, which will be the name on the screen. That's Jess. Any names? Yep. We're going to start off. And Jess was here earlier in the chat, just so we're clear on that. Yeah. At 3:11 on my time. And then we just go in order from there. Okay. So get your digits into the chat. Say hello. If you're in the chat and you're not waiting for a reading, then just keep chatting it up. But just please say that you passed, that you're just here to chat. You're just here to whatever, whatever people. Some people like to sit and learn and just absorb information. This is actually, that's pretty much the foundation of this channel. Because there ain't no deeper knowledge than knowing thyself. And that's just reality. So we're going to September 20th. And 1969. 4:24 p.m. Awesome. You got all the digits there. That helps so much. Adelaide. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let me do this. Oh, it just got rid of your name. What the hey? Okay. Have you seen your chart before, Jess? We're going to get this on the screen. Did I spell Australia correctly? Oh, no, I didn't. Let me get that U in there. I can't believe. There we go. Now let's see what we come up with. All right, so Jess, this is showing that you are a Pisces on the ascendant. Sensitive energy, if this is you, Pisces on the ascendant, the sponge of the zodiac. This 5 degrees, this can be, this could be someone that kind of has that movie star look or a nice, beautiful head of hair. 5 degrees, the Leo energy. Oh, even a North Node in Pisces. Look at that. Virgo sun, all the Virgo energy in the 7th house. Wow. All right, you got a moon in Cappy at 12 degrees. 11th house energy. Woo, that screams boss, management material, focus on the long term. The 11 degrees, I would love to see Capricorn energy in the 11 degrees. This is the service industry, but servicing like global energy, right? Big time. Social systems. It's the house of the humanitarian. Wow, what a combination. Capricorn in the house of the humanitarian. Capricorn's corporations. What a mixture, right? Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll see that like really show up that way, where corporations make people their priority. Woo, wouldn't that be nice? So we have Taurus in the 3rd house with Saturn there at 8 degrees and a retrograde. Interesting. 0 degrees on the 3rd house cusp line. Wow. Couple of 0 degrees. All right. So far, is this your chart? Let me scroll down to make sure. Yes. Very good. All right. So going back to your chart. Wait. Did just say what to focus on? Anything? 12 degrees moon, 6. Oh, you came up with the 6 degree Capricorn rising. Yeah, this says 5. Okay, well, how about that long hair? You got that you got a lion's mane? I mean, that's how you solve that problem, right? The software said, I mean, I know we're bickering on not bickering, but we're splitting hairs at this point, 5 degrees in 53 minutes or 6 degrees. But the degrees matter. 5 degrees is Leo, 6 degrees is Virgo. So who are you? How do you show up physically? You follow? Yeah, I know. Crazy, right? Crazy. Ooh, Mars, 29 degrees in Sag. Holy shit. So searching, seeking, astronaut kind of energy. Are you always on the journey? right? The quest. This is a person who's on this would be like a vision quest energy, by the way, right? Because your vision, spiritual energy, Saggy, you got Mars there, you got Pallas Athena there, strategizing, thinking about the future, but taking action, not just going on vacations for nilly-willy, but always on the quest of learning and seeking wisdom and truth and knowledge. Higher education, even. Maybe you work in higher education. Yeah, interesting. But Mars tends to be quite physical in Sagittarius for sure. Horses, horseback, right? Yeah. Fascinating. You have partnerships right next to that. Okay. So Taurus can be really eloquent and beautiful in its speech. You got 0 degrees on the 3rd house. And with a Saturn there may have been restrictions or slowdowns when it came to talking when you were a child, maybe even in learning. Saturn can delay things. It's 8 degrees, which is interesting. It brings a Scorpio vibration to it. So there's an intensity for the communication when there is talking about my values, right? You might even feel that intense depth of energy over values, love, desire. Hello, intense Scorpio. Sometimes that lust energy goes high gear for sure. Venus in Leo at 26 at a Venus degree. Oh my God. This is in the house of service energy, but it can be theatrical. It can be colorful. It can, it's Venus. She wants to serve one-on-one in a domestic kind of way, or any way that others might kind of pass up. But it's the flashy, ringmaster of Leo, of fun and creativity that is in this area. So when we think of healing and we think of health, when we think of heart energy and health and creating and children, working even possibly with and for children in some capacity, maybe it's art, maybe who knows, maybe there's sick children and there's, in some way you're part of who, it can be in a lot of different ways. Maybe it's just your own children. Maybe it's something you desire one day. But in Michael Jackson's chart, he had tons of Leo in that 6th house. He really did have a strong desire to have children. He truly did. And basically, the children of the world. I mean, it's so clear in his chart. But this is really performative energy. It's Leo, right? Fun, laughter, party, surprise, spontaneity. Yeah, gotta love it. So your partnerships are important. Again, domestic partnerships in the 7th house. Pets is coming through pretty strongly because you got it in both ways, love and partnerships. All right. Now you do have a Mercury retrograde in that house, in the 8th house of the deep. Communications, partnerships, personal and professional. You have Jupiter there. So wisdom and knowledge comes through. So you're fortunate in that way. What I'm going to say here too is with Jupiter floating through the house of romantic partnerships, it's going to enter the house of health and domestic energy. So whether that's work, all of a sudden there's a ton of work, that's going to be coming soon, right? It's going to be picking up. You're going to have a lot on your plate with the Jupiter going through the 6th house. Some people even gain weight, mass at that time, literally, because it's Jupiter. It tends to go overboard. And but if you're being physical, then you shouldn't have a problem. It's Leo energy. But remember, you do have Venus in Leo. So when Jupiter gets there, that might be a thing. But you can look forward to an increase in work, increase in opportunities, increase in money and values, quite possible. Right now might be a little tricky for you because right now you have Jupiter trining the wounds. Although Neptune is sitting right there, so that brings a healing to your Chiron and wounds of the past and gives you understanding over self and emotions about self and my appearance, possibly even. See the Neptune on your Chiron, the wounds about my body, wounds from a long time ago, maybe connected to nurturing, self-worth, self-love, self-care, mom energy, even home and family. Neptune is healing your wound. And Jupiter, let me show it to you right here. Oh, wait, you can't. Well, I'll just say it. Jupiter right now is also connecting with them. So the 4 degrees, the big bucket, the big basket that we have up in the sky, and Pluto connecting for you. I would think that for you, this is a pretty significant time in your life. This energy brings about Aquarius stuff, which can be younger people or older people, because it's Aquarius energy at 4, and it exactly is a sextile to the healing energy and institutional energy of Neptune. Neptune can be confusing and fuzzy, right? Absolutely confusing and fuzzy. It distorts reality. But the Jupiter is loading up on that with you because you got them both. But it's in the house of finances and money. So however this looks for you in whatever capacity, you do have Neptune at your midheaven too, at 26 in Scorpio. So wounds and Neptune is there. Really fascinating. Healing might be psychological stuff. Scorpio. Trauma, deep psychology. Yeah. All right. I got to move on. You have Uranus at 3 in partnerships. Well, that can be like neurological shit too. Okay. All right. So I hope that made sense, Jess. And I think I saved your chart in the system. I did. All right. So let me go find your stuff. And who's next? We are rolling right along. Remember, this is speed readings. We're trying to get everybody to get a chance in here. Sometimes people will leave a gift to the channel, and when they do that, I'm going to spend more time on their chart, okay? Because it just makes sense. All right, so I'm just checking up on some stuff. Okay, so there's okay, Stephanie, are you in this chat? I see you left a gift. Thank you so much. We're going to get to you. I also see another gift through Noel. Thank you so much for leaving the channel gifts. We're going to get to you. We're coming along. Coming down the mountain. Here we come. Let me see who was after this mark here for Jess. Noel, you were actually, well, let me see. Was Steph above that somewhere that I didn't see? Yeah, let me just double check this. Okay, so that's Alexis got that. Okay. All right, so here we go. Noel, you left a channel gift. Are you still here? I'm assuming you're still here. Oh, I like that. Noel, hey, Mr. Reborn, I see you. Okay, Stephanie, I got your gift. So Noel, you're up first. Jesse, you left. I'm sorry, not Jesse. Stephanie, sorry. All right, Stephanie, we got your digits. Yeah, that's important. Need the digits to do the reading. Okay. All right, is Noel here? Noel said I'm here. Very good. Yeah, so if you're in the chat, if I haven't gotten to you yet, I want you to take a look at the chat. If you have your birth digits all over the place, do me a favor, get them all together on one chat line and send that in the chat. Get all your information on one line, okay? That way you do that work, and I'm not wasting chat time fishing for information, okay? And this is just to everybody, especially if we have people who haven't been here before. It's always a retraining session. That's just the way it's always going to be because, well, I'm just doing what I'm directed to do, which is just do spontaneous live streams. And so it's always going to freaking be this way, I guess. Spontaneity means you got to train people. I guess that's part of my freaking, yeah, I guess that's how you cultivate patience. I don't know. That's part of what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, sure. Your show, not mine. Let's do it. Like, let's do it. All right. So, Noel, we've got you as July 16th, 1975. And 1 a.m. New Iberia. That sounds familiar. I don't have many people who are born in New Iberia. Maybe I looked at your chart last week. Maybe I already have you in the system. I don't know. Maybe I have another person who's born from New Iberia. I mean, seriously, the last week was the first time I ever heard of it. I was like, oh, that's in America. Oh. I don't get out much, okay? All right, so here we go. We got your chart. Have you seen yours before? We're talking Taurus on the ascendant at 0. We're talking a moon in Libra, conjunct Uranus at 28. Yikes. Is this your chart? Wow. Wow. Cancer Sun at conjunct Saturn at 22 and 23 in Cancer. Oh, Mercury retrograde. You got Mercury in Cancer. Okay. North Node is in Scorpio, 7th house of partnerships. Woo! Intense energy for partnerships, personal and professional. Intense, deep, and they have to be meaningful. Otherwise, you're like, I'm out. Dang. Okay, I see. Someone else said they sent the donation. I'll check the email. Yep, and I'll get to you. I see it. Thank you so much. Give me a second. I just want to check to make sure that this is this person's chart. And then once I flip back, I'm looking just at the chart. And we're going to get to everybody else, okay? All right. So, anything significant? Yeah. So far, that's pretty goddamn significant. I mean, the intense 0 degrees is really a big deal. And the moon at the conjunction with Uranus, which is relationship energy, but shocking, surprising, new, exciting, feminine energy. Sudden, right? There can be this extreme need for independence, which can be tricky with Libra energy. Like, oh, we're committed, we're long-term, or is this, especially when someone has a sudden urge, a sudden need to break free, rebelliousness kind of a spurt, which you might be able to contain at times and be like, hey, this isn't sustainable, right? But when objects line up in a certain way, that might be a hell of a battle. So, yeah, this is tricky. It's a tug of war between me and we. You follow? Although you do have Chiron and Aries at 28, which shows a wound connected to needs, to nurturing, to family, to mom energy. Oh, this is going to make this tricky. Okay, so what's your birth? 19? Oh, you're okay. Yeah, this might be some energy that you have kind of learned to work with, that you recognize. You have a lot of Scorpio energy, a lot of relationship energy, a lot of desire. That's it. Your whole chart right there. I just said it. Yeah, relationships, desire, attachments, deeply bonded energy, and more partnerships, like all the way around your chart. And this can be professional partnerships too, by the way, right? But it's a big deal. And having communication in the second house of values and money and desires and being able to talk, that's going to be huge. Without that, you'd be in trouble. You have a nice trine, so technology and friends and group energy, a nice open communicative trine. So that's a huge benefit to have that. Your Saturn is where slowdowns are created. Career slowdowns. You want a career that's going to be deeply meaningful. Yes, corporations, long-term goals, building legacy, energy, ethical kind of stuff. No shortcuts, going by the book, by the rules. Very competitive energy, actually, up here at your midheaven. Something you would work on for the long haul. So yeah, you're working on the financials. You want to establish material financial security. That's good. And it aligns beautifully with the house of work, right? Career aligns with the house of work. The thing about that midheaven and the career is it just my work? Is it just my job? Is it, Is it a calling? Is it a vocation? You know, understand that as you go through life, there's going to be certain levels, right? And ultimately, those callings, the vocations and all that, they become way more important. So the fact that you have just a sweet trine to that energy and the ability to finish what you start, even though this can be tricky in relationships. This would be contract work. This can be lawyers. This can be the law, but equality, fairness, justice, balance, harmony, even art and creativity with the Uranus energy, unique, different, rebelliousness. But people that you're connected to on a soul level. You can work with these people, live with these people, or let's flip it around. The people that you live with, you're connected in a deep way. Okay. People that you work with, you're connected in a deep way. The thing is with Uranian energy there, it just has that little spicy extra something that there's creating new relationships, like a desire. Now, maybe that's wrong, but a desire, a thirst, and the caution for perfection in relationships, right? That would be where this can get hard. The caution for perfection, because your Venus is in perfection. And the Venus is your great benefic. So home and family, mom, mothering, nurturing, like these come up really big here too. Okay. And romantic partnerships. Yeah. The emotions. These are caregivers. Whenever we see the strong Virgo energy, or people, domestic, serving in a significant one-on-one way. All right. You do have Mars that angles that nicely. It's a supportive trine. So, you know, it's Mars and Venus working together as a team, which I love. The only thing about the Mars in the first house, that is a good place for it to be, except in Taurus, sometimes the energy level, it can be sporadic bursts of energy at times where it's not as high as you want it to be. But overall, the Taurus will help you to finish the job that Mars started. Because Aries energy in your 12th is hidden ego tendency, hidden immaturity, my hidden childlike ways, my dreams, my fantasies that are subconscious, that are, again, about being different and unique and friends. There's a connection to even possibly the military and fighting in another lifetime or a parallel lifetime, whatever the hell you want to call it. And so you might get information about that in dreams. This also would be like ancient civilization energy as well. So there might be, you know, just information that comes through. But remember, extremely independent energy, there will be those on and off moments. And you're going to have some beneficial stuff with Jupiter. Jupiter is going to pop up for you because you have Jupiter in fire. And so as Jupiter, for all of us, goes through our Leo energy, which for you, it's right now in your 4th house of emotions and family. So sometimes our home grows and expands as Jupiter goes through it. Some people who have the means have another home. They acquire another home. Or maybe somebody gets pregnant and there's another family member, so the home grows. You know, there's lots of different ways that can happen. Leo's creative energy too. You have Leo in Leo, but this can also be the romantic relationships. So you might have a little spark of that. It's around the same time once we get into October. It's going to be connecting with your Jupiter. Interesting. The other chart, I think their Jupiter was at 23 as well. So that's what's jumping up for you. Romantic partnerships, relationships, but it can also be creativity that comes online large. Okay. Can be sound, can be music, can be colors, can be paints, can be, you know, however you're creative. Just use that energy to create and use the creativity wisely and in a healthy way. That would be important because Leo energy is quite daring. And when you have a Jupiter trining Jupiter, courageous and confident, holy crap, right? It's off the chain. So that'll be a really nice burst then if you're a creative. Jupiter trining Jupiter, and you have Jupiter in your 5th house. I'm going to add something here. That's the house of taking risks, right? A lot of folks have been asking me, should I play the lottery? Well, don't ask me that question. All I'm going to say is the 5th house is the house of taking risks. So if you can afford $1 or whatever it is, that might be a fun time to just say, hey, what the hell? What do I have to lose? It's $1, right? Or whatever. Because you even have Venus in your 5th house in Virgo as well. So I'm not saying you're going to win the lottery. I'm just saying with an alignment like that, what the hell? This is supposed to be a time where like crazy stuff happens. And so anything goes, anything's possible. So don't waste it. All right, we're moving on. Let me save that. Noelle. Thank you. Thank you again, Noelle, for the channel gift. Much appreciated. All right, we are going to the next person in line. And let's go and see. Let me back this up. Okay, Stephanie. Let's see here. Okay, so after Stephanie is Ziggy. Ziggy, I see your digits. Yeah, Stephanie, I see you. I see your digits, and I also got your gift. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, so if you're new, we do speed readings. The speed readings, yeah, everybody gets a speed reading. That's just what the channel does. Sometimes people have money and they want a longer reading, so they gift the channel. And if they gift the channel, then I'll spend more time. Why not, right? It's fair. And it helps me to keep doing what I do. And I greatly appreciate it. So anytime anybody can help the channel, that is a wonderful thing because you're helping me to help you. Okay? Let's get Stephanie's chart up here. Stephanie, do I already have you in my system? I think I have a lot of Stephanies. That's what I think. Man, I can't believe the temperature today. I got pants on and like, it's just wild how it's July. It's just crazy. I can't complain though. December 14th, 1990. And we're looking at 9:56 p.m. Good job. You got all the stuff. You got all the things. All the time things. That's what I need. Thank you. Plano, Texas. Texas. Every time I think of Texas or see it, I just think of boondocking with Dennis. He passed a few weeks ago. But he was out of Rockport, Texas. He was a boondocker. But he had been struggling for a long time. So rest in peace, amigo. Let's get your chart up here. Let me get my water. Okay, so let me double check this. 9:56 p.m., December 14th, 1990. Have you seen your chart before? Let me do that like this. There we go. Leo on the ascendant, 22 degrees. You got a moon at 1 degrees in Sagittarius, a sun at 22. Have I seen this chart before? I know I just asked that like 3 times, but this looks familiar. Yeah. Is that you? Saggy moon at 1? Jupiter in the 12th. Boy, kind of interesting. Man, y'all got these numbers. Number 23. You got Virgo at 3. Uranus at 8. You got Mercury at 10. A retrograde Mercury in Capricorn. Oh. Huh. A creative builder. Interesting energy there. And you got the mind with it. That's fascinating. Okay. So, you did a reading for me. Okay, that's what I thought. Thank you. What the hell? I don't know. Maybe my system, if it was here, it would have told me, but that's okay. We're here now. So here we go. All right, well, let's do your Jupiter too. What the hell? I've already read your basic chart. Well, actually, your Mars just jumped out, so let's go back to that really quickly. Yeah, I know I believe we spent time on this. This was this retrograding Mars. So, like I said before, intense energy with Mars, passion driven, ambition driven at the 10th house over whatever you value. Can be creative stuff, can be food, can be anything or anyone that you value. And the Taurus energy connected to the Virgo energy has a really strong earthy link, especially with a chart with all this freaking Capricorn, wholly grounded. You are one grounded being, right? Yeah, material, the tangible, like you don't mess around, boss energy all over the place here. My God, even by degree, Saturn right there. Saturn can create some difficulties with health. And I don't know if I touched on that last week, but Saturn can create the slowdowns and the restrictions. This can be, like I said, with health, but also at work, right? Or it can feel like just really heavy, a lot of duty, a lot of responsibility energy. Because when we're the boss, well, yeah, a lot of responsibility. A lot is on our shoulders. And your great benefic is your Venus here. Communication, talking, planning, relating, the rapport, the sharing of information back and forth, long-term goals. Yeah, you do have it in the house of children, though, and creating that long-term financial security. Again, creative building, creatively building, creative builders. That's the Capricorn, long-term commitment energy. Wow. Long-term commitment energy. Sometimes with people with the Saturn on that 6th house cusp line, because the 6th house is usually representing our health, right? And so if Saturn is exactly on it, which this chart's telling me it is almost down to the minute, it's off by 1 minute. Saturn can be like spinal stuff, bones, knees, the hard parts of the body, even the skin for some people, the skin. Bone spurs, teeth, stuff like that with Saturn. But even, yeah, maybe even some, because you got a little bit of Aquarius there too. So maybe even, Aquarius and Leo, they can sometimes bring up stuff with the heart. Sometimes, okay? But if somebody, Capricorn in the 5th house, 5th house is gallbladder even. And if you have Capricorn there, hello, because Capricorn is the rocks and the stones, right? So I'm not saying you have that or you're going to have that. I'm just saying that if there is ever any health stuff of any kind, like these just might be some of these things that are worth looking into if there's ever any difficulties or, any areas where it's like, good God, my health feels like my work. Because you see, you have Virgo on the 2nd house cusp line too. And Virgo is health again. My values, what I'm, like this is important to me. Yeah. Earth and earth and earth. Okay. So let me find that Jupiter thing. I think that was the focus that I was going to go to that Jupiter thing. So you're going to have Jupiter conjunct Jupiter. And if I didn't touch on this before for you, you're going to start feeling this by August. Towards the end of August, you're going to get the connection, which will probably have to do with new dreams about your future. Now, it can also have to do, because the 12th house is people who are far away, like a romantic partner or something, because it's Leo energy. And across the sea is the 12th house, or somebody who's in the hidden and who's just, it's a long distance relationship type thing, or my children are far away from me. But Leo normally talks about the future. And in the 12th, the dreams about my future can be a thing, but can this institutional energy, government energy could be a part of this. So this might be, hold on before I say the next word. Well, we're waiting on Venus. Venus supplies you. Well, I'm thinking of Jupiter conjunct Jupiter is going to do that for you too. So at this time, your Jupiter return at the beginning of a new cycle, right? So whether it's your dreams about the future, Jupiter usually provides protection in some way. Okay. Jupiter also is about learning. And in the 12th house, we think spirituality, right? We think the mystical energy goes above and beyond religions, right? It becomes more of the deeper esoteric kind of stuff, but creative energy. So maybe sound, maybe instruments, however you create. Leo, by the way, loves color. Some people, they dream that they could be an artist. They dream they could, whatever the hell their dream is, okay? Whatever your fantasy, that's the 12th house, subconscious energy. So learning, maybe going on a trip, on a quest is a possibility too. But it's philosophy of life, right? The focus on my beliefs. Understanding is the 12th house, having a new understanding. Sometimes we get a teacher, a spiritual teacher, religious teacher, a guru. Sometimes we become that person. Since your natal Jupiter is at 13, this totally shows up as you because it's about self. 13 degrees, me, and my appearance. So I don't know, maybe you're looked upon as somebody in a spiritual role for, whoever, children. It's a possibility. Sometimes people, depending upon where they live and if they're affiliated with certain belief systems, they do Sunday school, or I don't know. Like I have a friend and they've got they do everything together at their church. The kids are in their each different programs, and then they even go on their little mini 3-day vacations with them. And it's like, oh my God, but they're all like spiritual directed in a way. Like they're all under the blanket of their church. And I had no idea. So yeah, because Leo wants fun. It's active, it's fun, it's play. Yeah. So there's something here about fantasy and maybe dramatics. Leo in the 12th, highly dramatic. This is movies, the silver screen, right? This is also publishing the subconscious possibly. So in this whole thing, you're learning about the process and reaching a new level of understanding. It's about your growth cycle, okay? It's usually going to be optimistic time, a confident time, right? Having little adventures here and there, big adventures here and there, in whatever way that is for you, all right? But remember about the teachers and maybe opportunities arising and doors opening. They have to do with yourself and your physical body because we're at Jupiter at 13 degrees. Okay. And before I say one more word, you sent a gift. Let me double check to see if there was something that you, I just want to double check this because I'll be talking on and on. And yeah, okay, I'm confused, Steffi. You okay. Oh, here you are. Okay, I knew there was something from you. Okay, so okay, Moon Mars. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even see this. Can you revisit Moon Mars with Chiron? Okay, revisit that. Yeah, you got the Chiron right there. So your question was about all right, there's your Mars, Chiron. And you're talking about the transiting Mars coming up, I'm assuming. It'll be coming up on your Mars when it gets there in September. Because your Cancer energy, let me go look at the other Chiron real quick. Let me go find that Mars 29 and then the Chiron up in the sky. Yeah, those aren't going to connect right away. And your moon. Okay, so there it is. So that's the moon and the Chiron. All right, the Chiron over there with a quincunx to your natal moon at 1 degrees. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. So the moon, your 4th house, your beliefs about the future, home, family, but it is really self-orientated at the 1 degree. And then the Chiron wound being there. And then the connection to Mars, Jupiter retrograding. Okay. Yeah, I probably had a lot that was spewing out at that time. Overcomes by experience, self-doubt, and delayed reaction. Yeah, I understand that. But I also think that when a Jupiter is going to be conjunct to Jupiter, that's what I'm talking about, where there will be a burst. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand what I mean by that? I think you'll have a sudden burst for sure, because it'll be Jupiter on Jupiter and the moon. Well, yeah, this is around September 7th, September 8th. It'll be all connected together. And then it doesn't mean you stay on that level though, right? But you're saying overall in general, you have, you feel anyway, that there is a endurance for consent. Got you. Well, here's the thing, okay? Whether this is the timeline, because I don't know what timeline I looked at before, it's Mercury, Sun, Virgo energy. Then communication will have to be clearer. So whether people mistake, so that there can be no mistake, so that what I'm verbalizing, what I am saying is what is. Okay? That's going to be the main thing. At this time, Venus is in Libra at 29 degrees. So it is a critical degree. And normally there has to be something that's done. We have to make a choice or a decision. It's a pivotal point when we see 29 degrees. But there's going to be a lot of support. There's going to be a lot of communicative Mercury and the Sun in Virgo. So this is further down the line. Okay. Now, right now, again, that's like the first 7 days of September. For right now, there is a Mercury retrograde. It's about to end. It's up here in Cancer. And so it's not going to touch your Chiron for a little bit of time. All right. We got to wait till it gets there. So that's going to be August 5th. All right. Jupiter will be getting closer to your Jupiter, but the Sun will be right on your Jupiter on this day. So you could say August 3rd, 4th, and 5th, that this is an important time because Mercury is close to your Chiron and you've got the Jupiter. And yes, this can be like hidden confidence because it's in the 12th house. But I do know the Leo energy, and I know a little bit about the 12th house too. And I do know that energy, especially when our own moon gets triggered and our own sun, you will likely have a sporadic burst. Okay. So maybe because the Mars at 29, being a retrograde Mars, it is more internalized, which is going to be important to know about that retrograde Mars. When we're not able to express our values, our boundaries, what we will or won't do, we just internalize it all. And that isn't good, right? We have to be clear communicators. So you're going to have the ability to do that with Mars in Gemini. Mars is still in Gemini right now, but it's providing a nice trine energy to Libra energy for you. Okay. And even right now, it's trining the descendant. It's trining your Aquarius energy. There's a lot of Mars and air. And so that provides the ability to maybe say things we wouldn't normally say, or we would hesitate at. Mars does not hesitate in Gemini. You follow? So take advantage of the time that you're in right now to be a more clear communicator. Okay. Pluto down at the home at 19 degrees. Yeah, this is going to be intense emotions, very intense emotions, deep, intense emotions. And again, I say this to everybody, sometimes with our Scorpio energy, sometimes we need to actually speak to a professional to process that stuff that we're afraid to unleash the beast. It's an intense, powerful energy connected to your emotions. Okay. And so if you need somebody to do that with, then hopefully you have that ability. But you're going to have the opportunity to learn and to communicate better because you're going to have Mercury on your Chiron, and your South Node's going to be there, which talks about the wounds of the past in multiple ways. Family, of course, tribal energy and home. And whether it's childhood, whether it's ancestry, who the hell knows what timeline, right? It's just shit that's unprocessed and it needs to get out. And even if it's not anything deep and intense, then maybe it's simply just learning a new form of communicating. Okay. So your timeline right now, your window of being, of going forward in a way that is helpful and more concise without being critical and not having so much hesitation, is when you're going to feel a difference when Jupiter enters into Leo. Okay. You will feel a difference there. Now, the other thing is that Mercury will be going through your 12th house after August 5th. So that means sometimes we might do better by writing, literally communicating by writing. You follow? It's like behind the scenes communication. It doesn't mean we stop communicating, though. Communication is going to be key. Okay. So I hope that makes sense for you. I hope that helps. And I hope that this gives you a little bit of a timeline of how to work with some of the energies that are going to be helping. And I mean helping, because while all that's going on, we're going to have the South Node in Leo. You follow? And the South Node is going to be in your first house in Leo. So it's not hidden yet. That's going to be for a little bit more time. Okay. You're going to have all the way. I said we're all going to have all the way until December. So you have from now till December to start really, if that's a struggle, this is an area to focus on. And Jupiter is the master of focus. You follow? That's one of Jupiter's keywords, focus. Okay. So this is your time. Once December 12th comes around, that's a very mystical time. And that's when the Leo energy goes into your 12th, the South Node, which means it's more subconscious. So work with what you got now. Okay. Okay. I see. Makes sense. Good. All right. Great. I'm glad that helped. Good. All right. Next person in line. Let's get a move on here. Stephanie, we got you taken care of. And we have, all right, so if you sent me a gift, someone else sent me a gift, but I'm not sure if the name matches the name in the chat. So you know who you are. Mm-hmm. And maybe you already commented, but I have to make sure that I know what name you are. So I can find out where you showed up in the chat. Yeah, I don't. Who's still here? How about that? Let me take a roll call. We get these names and then people disappear. I think Ziggy was next. Is Ziggy here? But let me double check. I'm looking for the person that I don't see that name in the chat anywhere. Yeah, you see how it can get confusing when I get sent a message, you sent me a gift, but yet it's not in the same name that showed up here in the chat. That's where it gets weird. Okay, there you go. Okay, so David, I see you. I see you, David. So you're going to be, yeah, Ziggy. If Ziggy's here, Ziggy's name came up first. Ziggy's here. Okay, so we got Ziggy first, and then David, you'll be next. Ziggy, have you seen your chart before? I feel like I've seen yeah. All right, let me get this up here. November 13th, 1972. Uh-oh. You don't have a birth time? Oh, you do. Is that at .20 in the morning? Does that mean 12:20 a.m.? Is that what that means? Decipher that for me so that I am so we're clear. We got to be clear here. The clearer it is, the faster the line goes, folks. Let's do this November 13th. And oh. All right, we got Denmark. Oh, Lord. Can't spell. Did you give me a city? Or did you just give me Denmark? Did I miss that? Will I be successful in my claim for compensation? If so, will I be paid a large sum of money? Yeah, I don't even have all your information. 7:20 in the morning. Okay, you're making me fish. Just letting you know. That makes it slower for everybody. Do I have a city? Oh, okay. So you're giving me this city now. Thank you. Okay. Let me get this up here. Let me get this adjusted. This is, yeah. All right. Well, okay. So HOR. Oh, we covered it up. Okay, let's just see what we can see here real quick for you, okay? Let's see what we can see. These are speed readings. These are speed readings for individuals who have the means. They send a little gift to the channel, send a big gift to the channel. You just never know. Whatever it is, it's appreciated. Your gift depends on how much, or your time depends on the gift that you send. I don't tell you what to do, what to send. That's totally up to you. All right. You gift the channel gifts you back. If you don't have that ability, that's okay. We're here to do speed readings, but sometimes people have the means, so they send money. Okay. And here we go, Ziggy. Your stuff is all over the chart. You wanted to know about being successful in your claim for compensation. Will I be paid a large sum of money? Woo. I don't know about that large. Will you be paid a large sum of money? Let me check some basics here. Oh, you do have 20. Oh, you do have an insurance claim. Your sun in Scorpio. Okay, interesting. Just in your basic chart. Oh, you even have. Interesting chart. God. All right. So, retrograde Saturn, retrograde Chiron. Mars at 28 in contracts. Mars is not your malefic. Saturn is your malefic, which means Venus is your cha-ching. You have Jupiter in Capricorn at 7 degrees contracts. Okay, interesting. You got a moon at 6. You got vertex at 6. Okay. 8th house cusp line in Leo at 12 degrees, and that's where Jupiter will be. Alrighty. So law, judgments. Lawyers, courtrooms is Jupiter, Sagittarius. You even have Neptune. Is that at the... Yeah. Okay, you have Neptune trining Neptune right now. All right. And you do have Neptune up in your 8th house. You don't have anything there at 4. You do have... you have Sisyphus at 4 degrees. I just got to be honest with you. You do have Sisyphus and Leo at 4. That's where Jupiter is sitting. And that gives us a feeling of starting over, starting from scratch. Now, it is in the place of group energy and friends. All right. Social systems, social services, friends in high places. But having Jupiter going through there, having, right? Jupiter was in Cancer. Now it's in the Leo, 4 degrees on your Sisyphus. Feeling like we had the rug pulled out from under us just when we thought we had things under control. The Jupiter is going to pass that up. But you know what? Let me back up a minute. I came out of the gate running. Are you an Aquarius moon at 6 degrees with a Virgo rising at 4 degrees? Like, if this, I got to make sure this is your chart. No, it's not your chart. The time's wrong. I never did get the time changed. There were so many things. Okay. There were too many things to change. Yeah. 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 Okay. Different chart. Here we go. It's moved things a little bit. You still got the 20 degrees sun in Scorpio. Oh, with a sense of entitlement. Oh, with insurance. Interesting. Right there. Bang. Both of them together. You have a 9 degrees Aquarius moon. Is this you? 14 degrees Scorpio on the ascendant. That's you? Is that a yes? Ziggy, is that a response? Are you still here? I'm not seeing anything from Ziggy in the chat. Maybe Ziggy left. Okay, so that makes sense. All right, let's check this out. All right, you said yes. Okay, so the Jupiter's still in the same spot, but now that's for your natal Jupiter. And Venus is still your great benefic, not Jupiter, which makes Saturn that malefic, and it is in your 8th house. Again, this is insurance money, right? Yeah, this retrograde Saturn in Gemini, writing, information, yeah, taxes, insurance. Okay, contracts possibly even, for sure. The law and lawyer energy, though, 9th house, you got Leo, you got Jupiter going through there. That's a good thing. Okay, so that changes things. The other one was in the 12th. This is going through the 9th. Okay. You do have Mars, but Mars is not. Okay, so... Okay, let's take a quick peek. Yeah, you might have to come back another time. You had like a 2-part question, and then it requires going... you want to know not only am I going to get money, but is it going to be in one lump sum? Oh, you are going to have Venus conjunct Venus. With the Pallas Athena that will be there. And you'll have Venus conjunct Pluto coming up. Okay. So the Mercury retrograde going through the house of the insurance money right now, going through the details. Okay, your South Node is part of this. Oh, no wonder you're confident. Okay. But is it going to be a big payout? Shit. You do have Venus conjunct Uranus up here, 16 and 20 degrees. It's fascinating, right? Gosh. Let me move some stuff ahead real quick. And let's see what that looks like really quickly here. Oh, I already passed it. Wow, that's dang. Are you expecting this soon? Well, maybe it's just going to be the news and the information. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Well, in less than a month, you'll have a Venus return. And this is going to be in the 11th house of support and gains. Holy crap. So, gosh, Venus is supposed to be your great benefic. And I don't know how fast. I mean, because God, normally shit doesn't happen that fast. Normally shit drags its feet. But maybe this is good news. But authority figures, it is contractual energy, can be lawyer energy, it can all be a part of that. In my mind, the really good news is you'll have Venus trining Saturn. That's a good thing because that's long-term financial stability and communications about that and contracts and stuff like that. And it's connecting to that 8th house energy. So, this is just me taking a jump and looking a month out. And by this quick look, it looks like things can be moving along smoothly, especially since at the same time, you're going to have Venus at the opposition of the Saturn up in the sky. Interesting. Yeah, you're going to have a lot connecting. So I think it's going to be beneficial in that way. I would honestly want to take a look at other charts before I answered a question like that, which would take you a little bit more time. So you're more than welcome to come back again. And then just remind me we looked at this and ask me to look at another chart for you. Because if I pull up another chart, then I'm taking up more time. But the big thing is that your great benefic is in the house of gains with Uranus, shocks and surprises. The law, the justice, the judicial system. I'm assuming a lawyer's involved somewhere, right? Like, so that's good. And that's really good. And Venus connecting with your natal Saturn. So that so far looks nice to me. Okay, so I've got a person that paid, so I have to get to them. And I think that's David. Joanne, I see you too. So hold on there. Let me get to David. David, are you still here? Do I have your digits, David? You're welcome, Jeremiah. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing your information right now. I know I saw David in here earlier, but do I have David's digits? Oh, I like the way that person said I don't have my birth time. Very good. So here's an example real quick. If you're leaving digits for me, you don't have your birth time, but I need your location. So I have a birthday. If you don't know your birth time, just do exactly what you did, but also include city and state and country if necessary, because sometimes I don't know where the hell these places are at. Jesse said, I work in dementia ward, 3 different roles, lifestyles, gardener, housekeeping. I also had 2 boys, very young mom. Oh, Wonder Woman. There we go. There's David. Okay. I'm like, wait, is David still here? Let me check the chat. I got him on the screen. Let me see if he's DKR 578. Okay, yeah, got you, David. Thank you. Did you put your location in there? Oh, you did at the bottom now. Okay, yeah. I think I need to get a sticker or something so that people understand it's everything. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Oh, I see. It just says get your digits to me. Okay. All right, David, let's get your chart going on here. August 5th, 1966. Thank you for the channel gift, by the way. And let's get to work. Woo! It is too goddamn cold in here. Like, okay. So you have a birthday coming up. It's right around the corner. 4:30 p.m. Yeah. Great. And Tasmania. Woo. Awesome. I love doing charts in locations that I haven't drawn up for before. I can't even pronounce that. How do you say that? Longchestion? Whatever. Long. Yeah, I don't even know how to say that. Australia. Okay. All right. So, yes, cheers. 4:30 p.m., August 5th. Let's get you on the screen. This is showing Aquarius on the ascendant, on the rising at 3 degrees. It's giving me a moon, Pisces moon. Ooh, 25 degrees in Pisces, conjunct your Chiron. Ouch. Okay. Communication, learning, thoughts, thinking. Okay. Really creative energy. 18 degrees, huge kite, strong kite. Involves Neptune, Venus, Jupiter, Mars. Holy macaroni. Wow. My values, my mind, my thoughts, my communications, siblings, neighbors, coworkers, writing, creative writing, sound, maybe music. Can be words, can be music and words, can be lyrics. And at the top of the kite is Pluto and Uranus. Holy shit. 9th house cusp line of publishing. And a Mercury at 0 in creative Leo. Cha-ching! I mean, look at all the Leo energy. You have the writer in multiple places of the chart. Your midheaven is Libra, also artsy energy. Deeply meaningful energy is your South Node, so there's depth to you. And depth connected to what you're working on for the long term, maybe even your religion, belief, and spirituality, but like even a vocation type of thing, whether it's career or not. So at the opposite end, because you have multiple kites, is creating. Another kite with creating, the 5th house cusp line. Wow. These are some, you got, oh, you people, y'all got these amazing kites going all the way around. Wow. Okay, so did he have a question connected to this? Coming back. Okay. Gotcha. It's a relationship question. Well, 7th house, right? 0 degrees in Mercury. This can be tricky. That can be tricky. Yeah, this is pretty intense energy in the 7th house. Let me go see what you got going on. Jupiter. So Partnerships, Jupiter represents freedom, by the way. Yeah, the big 4 degrees, because your descendant is at 3, you see? So that big bucket, basket, cradle, box, whatever the hell you want to call it, that was up in the sky, your descendant and your ascendant, all part of it. I mean, ascendant, Aquarius, Neptune, right there. 4 degrees in the 3rd house, communication. Uranus right there, 4 degrees in your 5th house of romantic partner or friends or siblings, neighbors, coworkers. Could be children, by the way, because it's in the 5th house and it's connected to 4 degrees, which would be home and family, maybe mom energy. But our partnerships can just be anybody that's important to us, and it can include professional partnerships. Leo suggests creative partnerships, romantic partnerships, relationship, our children. Or, the new meaning that the Epstein, has given to the new meaning of children in Leo energy, that thing too. Okay. So with all that said, as sick as that is to have to even include that in the astrology now, it's just a part of life, I guess. So Mars is on your Sirius. Oh, is it a child? Sirius says is at the Leo degree. So romantic partner or a child, but it is in the 5th house. And it's none of my business. You don't have to answer that, really, truly. When I ask questions like that, it's just to see how accurate can the astrology get. You follow? Because, well, it's just like the Gemini energy here. It's about learning. And you want to know if this person's coming back. Well, there's a retrograde happening right here, 16 degrees. It's going to be right on your Venus and your Mars. This is where Mercury stands still. You see this? So Mercury's stopping, and then she's going to go backwards here. I'm sorry, Mercury's stopping because the retrograde's over, and now she's going to go forward. Yeah. My mouth and brain, the dyslexic, I say the N anyway. So yeah, Mercury's stopping right here. Normally there's some sort of an action being taken. And I just want to heed a warning here. When people have Mars in Cancer, it's difficult energy, okay? It affects our emotions deeply. And we usually have to, it's energy where we really have to count to 20 and reach out to somebody to just be like, yeah, shit sucks right now. I just need a little getaway, little respite, find something to laugh about, because it can be overwhelming, especially water stuff. Water stuff can be too much. And we have to get out of our emotions and get out of our head. So with that all said, Mercury retrograding ending can help with the constant thoughts and turn the record player off. And yeah. So, like I said, this is like the children and home and family is strong. All right. So I'm just going to kind of go with that for right now. All right. It's, so with a retrograde ending, how many times can I repeat that? Let me go forward a little bit. Mars usually wants to take action. And when the retrograde happens, we're rethinking things. And usually at the end of the retrograde, once she clears her shadow zone, then we have more clarity. So the reality is that Mercury's retrograde started at 26 degrees. And Mercury's not going to get there until August. So even if somebody comes back before then, they might change their mind again. because it's like we haven't had enough time, or we haven't had all of the information. There are pieces of information missing even. The other thing I want to suggest or explain about Mercury is it is also coworkers, but too much talk, maybe not enough talk. In Cancer, really in the emotions, connections to the past. But the sibling energy with Gemini and the sibling energy with Mercury. So I don't know. This seems complex. This seems kind of complex. And Jupiter's part of this too. It's close by degrees. So Jupiter says that there's some additional stuff here. And beliefs is part of this, and beliefs about family and what is family at the foundational level, and how is this going to look like going forward in the future of the family. Like, this is part of this too. But values and taking action. So with all that said, it's not until after August. So it's like August 7th that Mercury finally gets to 27 degrees. And that is where you get a little bit more clarity of information. And at that time, that Mercury will be sending a nice strong trine to your Saturn. Saturn is more stable energy. It's more stabilizing. It's more about the long term. So I don't know if this is good news or bad news for you. I don't know if whoever this is, if you want them to come back, if you don't want them to come back. But I just feel like anything that even I say right now might be a little premature, that there's just still more information that's coming down the pike here. And what I will say about the 0 degrees, because Mercury's coming up again, Mercury in Leo and Leo energy in general, these people usually don't seem to be aware of it until somebody tells them. And this can be partners because it's in your 7th house. But holy shit, when that lion wants to the jungle to know that it's taking a stand, holy shit, it's got the biggest mouth out of it. I mean, it's loud as hell. And in connection with children, maybe if there's a child involved, maybe the child's the loud one, maybe again, this looks complicated. This looks like there's a partnership with children that I don't know, even your sun is at 12 degrees, which suggests hidden and mystery, and needing respite, needing to not be in the spotlight in the center. And that, the changing minds and options and decisions is prevalent with Mercury at 0 degrees. So whether you have moments of where you burst out, because that's Leo, but it will be this way because we have the energy within us. That's the energy that comes to us. That's who's drawn to us, right? So many times once we kind of recognize our own tendencies, it changes who we attract. Therefore, it changes the way people behave because it's not okay or it's not appropriate or whatever. But something huge with communication is present here. So there needs to be more communication, more clear communication, more calm, safe, clear communication, because Cancer energy wants to be emotionally safe. And that's where this retrograde stood still on your Mars. And Mars is violent in Cancer, emotionally violent energy. Now yours does have Venus right there and Jupiter. That's a mixed bag because Venus is desires. And so if she doesn't get what she wants and she's connected to Mars and Jupiter blows things out of proportions, that can get ugly. Or there's time where Jupiter's laughter and fun, but high dramatics might break the ice a little bit. But with Mars's little jabs in there, this can be complicated. So I just think there's things that have to get worked out. And you do have a South Node in Scorpio, and your Neptune's right next to it. And that tells me right there that your soul's goal for this lifetime is a quest to overcome change, to develop creative outlets for intense emotions. Just so you know, I'm reading this right from the software right now. Okay, so it's not like, I just clicked on it, and this is what the software says for the South Node. and to avoid hitting out at loved ones. These attributes, and that doesn't have to be physically hitting out. You follow? It can just be the Leo shit where we kind of, yeah. These attributes have plagued you in this life because of suffering and traumatic endings in past lives, which left you with a deep emotional wound or wounds and a feeling of being cheated in some way. So in learning this life's lesson of trusting the process of change, you develop a newfound sense of peace and stability. So lesson, we decrease the intense stuff, because a South Node in Scorpio also talks about deep, intense changes and a demand to see growth. That's what the software doesn't say. It really does. On a soul level, it's a demand to experience and see growth. And if it doesn't see it happening in a meaningful way, it's fixed energy. And that combination with Leo energy, which is also fixed energy, that can be a lot to handle for the people that are around that kind of energy. Okay, so it can be a lot for you to handle, but a lot for the others as well. Now, I wish I could have given you a more definitive answer, but this looks pretty freaking complex. I just know that at the time when August comes, the nodes will be in Aquarius and in Leo. So you'll have the South Node going through your 7th house, okay? And with the South Node going through your 7th house, that means it might be time to say goodbye to somebody. That's just the truth. It doesn't mean we're saying goodbye forever and permanently, though, okay? It just means, it's time to move on. And whether it's for this person to move on, I don't have their chart in front of me, okay? And I just know there's deep work. And everybody has deep work, okay? We all do. Let's be clear about that. But you'll have the confidence. And you'll also have the desire for change, believe it or not. Because you'll have Aquarius, the North Node in Aquarius of independent energy going through your 2nd house. You see how that works? Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for the channel gift. I hope that helped you understand some things. And Joanne, you sent a gift. Let me get to you because we're a little bit past the time. So let's get Joanne up here. She left a channel gift. Joanne, are you here? And for anybody that I didn't get to, just know that we'll do this again and you come on back. Just make sure that you try to do it in a way where you're including all your information on the same line. And that makes it all go a lot faster. Some people email me their digits. That way, when they come to the live stream, for the next one, that way I already have their digits in the software. That's how we began today's live. And that really helped it to go smoothly. Where was Joanne at? I thought I saw her name in here. She sent me. I thought I saw her in the chat. I know she sent a gift. So I'm like, Joanne, where are you? She's probably at the butt end here, huh? Okay, maybe she's not. Joanne, are you not here? Hello, Joanne. Joanne, I saw you at 4:55. It's now 5:16. Are you still here? I got the gift that you sent. And it doesn't have a question attached to it. But I'm not going to read if you're not here. Because that's not good. Okay, Joanne said I'm here. Great. I see you now, Joanne. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Right at 5:15, she said I'm here. I see you, Joanne. Sometimes I scroll too damn fast. Joanne, did you have a question? Oh, did you send me another email? All right, let me do this. Let me go through this way. Let me see if it's let me refresh this thing. Maybe I'm waiting for it. It showed that you sent a gift. It didn't show a question or birth digits or anything. I don't have a separate email. I just got a PayPal that said you sent a gift, but it doesn't. Let me double check it again. Yeah, there was no message attached to it. So let's get rid of that and let's go there. She said it's in the email. Well, technology's playing a game on me. It's not telling me what I'm looking up. Am I looking up your chart, Joanne? Yeah, I know you're saying it's in the email, but the email, I keep hitting refresh and it's the same thing. I'm not getting anything different. I don't know why we're having this problem. We didn't have it the whole day, which is nice. Since I don't have the information, Joanne, my daughter. So is it the same chart that you want me to pull up from last time? Is it Helena? I have her digits here. Do you want me to pull that up? And then what am I looking at for her? Because I do remember her chart and I do have her right here. Oh, wait. It looks like I have two different charts, though, for her. What the hell? Oh, was this one the software was being funny? Funny, not funny? Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. I have September 10th, 2010. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. So is that October 9th or is that September 10th? Just so I'm sure here. Sometimes. All right. So I'm kind of back at the same question. September 10th or October 9th? Which one is it? September. Thank you. Okay. Now let's create this for you. Well, you got in just in time. Man, this software. Okay. I had to double check that. Is that really 2010? Okay. 9:52 p.m. And we're talking SAIPAN. And Northern sounds really beautiful. I mean, really, Northern Mariana Islands. Oh my God. Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Okay, so have you ever seen her chart before? This is giving me a Taurus rising. Let me get this on the screen for you. September 10th. There it is. Okay, oopsie daisy. September 10th, 2010, 9:52 p.m. This is can you tell me what time zone that is in, just so I can see if the software put the correct time zone? Because this is saying, I think this says Australian. And that might be right, but I'm looking for confirmation on that. Yeah, it has AEST for the time zone. Is that the right time zone for you? She's like, no. Oh, so no, you've never seen her chart? Oh, I tell you, this software, I have already put in a ticket for them, telling them every now and then it'll give me the wrong coordinates, the wrong time zone for someone's chart. I'm like, I can't have this happening while I'm live. What the hell? Like, I'm trying to move fast. I don't have time to be creating new charts to double check your system, but that's what I have to do. So let's double check this. And this is, okay, so let's do this. Okay, we got 41, 147, 41 south. 145, 147. Okay. 15. That one number seems strange. All right, let's double check. What did Joanne say? Yes, see, I had a feeling. It was wrong. Okay, so this really takes the fun out of it. The fun out of it. This takes the accuracy out of it. Let me see if I can mess around with these coordinates. And I'm going to do a screenshot so I can let these people know how whacked this is. So they don't think I'm crazy. Yeah. GMT plus 10. That should help. Oh, hell yeah. Accuracy is everything. I mean, if you're not going to do it, what's the frickin', don't do it if you can't be accurate. What's the point, right? That's the way I feel about it. They just, yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do, it's not letting me edit the time zone. Okay. So let me go look at my creative backup here for this. What a bummer. Let me get you into this other system. It never has this problem. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't use this other system every day like I do with this one. But let me add her digits in here. We're going to do this. Man, this is so... Thank God you're the last person, otherwise... Okay, so we have September 10th. (2010) 9:52 p.m. Okay, so yeah, see, their coordinates are exactly the coordinates I looked up on this other site. And, let me screenshot this too, because these people seem to think like I don't know what they think, but I just want them to see how I had to use a different software to correct their shit. Okay, so what this means is I'm going to pull up a different system showing a different chart, which isn't as awesome. At least I don't think it's as awesome. It's just going to be a lot cleaner looking and doesn't have everything. So let me see. There we go. Pick your chart, her chart, and then we'll get you round natal chart. Okay, we're going to switch over to this other system. Okay. Yeah. So this is a Taurus on the ascendant at 20 degrees. This is a Libra moon. Oh. Ooh. Libra moon at the mom degree. I'm just saying. Home and family, and it's a moon. All right, so we'll talk about that in a second. And then we have her Leo is at the home, right? Home and family, mom, Leo energy, 1043. Her midheaven is Aquarius at 10 degrees, authority figure. Ooh. Okay, so you see the red in the chart, right? That's the big T square. T square with Pluto, with Saturn. Jupiter and Uranus are conjunct. Holy crap. Okay. Okay. So this would create these two together. And then Mars, yeah, that creates 1 degree that way. And that, oh, they're in two different signs. So Scorpio. Okay, that's intense. A Venus and Scorpio. See that? Venus and Scorpio at 1. Mars right there. Oh, it won't let me do anything. Mars right there. 27 in Libra. Okay. Alrighty. For a chart like this, Mercury is, well, okay. Intense energy on the ascendant and the descendant. Values, stubborn, very fixed energy. And then the big T square that's up there is, let me count these out though. This is a little weird. This is 248. Okay, so that's a little wobbly. That Pluto isn't going to exactly connect. But it is close, but maybe it's really doing a thing right now. So power, emotions, deep, intense, wounds connected to authority figures, boss energy, dad energy, and beliefs about my future, all connected to the long-term goals and what I'm working towards. So to have understanding about the wounds of the past, this person's probably going to be distant and cold, maybe not all the time, but there can be moments where you just don't know if you're connecting with this person. However, they also have a nice trine energy to their Venus, and this would be the saving grace in this relationship or in this connection, because this Pluto and this Venus they're very deeply bonded energy. You follow? There's a deep bond there. And this is Scorpio at 1 degrees. Now, where it gets tricky is when a moon is in Libra and it's at the mom degree, the Libra moon, it's a lot of moon energy, a lot of emotions. Air is good because it's talking and communication, but it can be connected very strongly. There might be control, and she might feel like, there's moments or waves she might point a finger, maybe, where other people she might feel are being controlling. That's a possibility, only because the Libra moon is striving for a balance, harmony, beauty, peace, perfection, ultimately. And that's not really realistic. But sometimes the moon gets out of hand, right? And they just don't know it. So this can present how she wants home to be, how she wants her mother to be, or this can actually be her mom. You follow? So there's a lot of emotions here. But Libra normally is about peace and harmony and beauty and goodness. Normally, unless it's not. Unless it's not. And when it's not, that's when it's going to be a challenge. So there might even be times where there might be, you experience hot and cold with a person like this, only because of the detached energy and the cold energy up here, but also because she's got the air, the mind of the scientist, kind of really rebellious energy at the midheaven, and it's at an authority figure degree, like I am the boss type of energy. And so far in this chart, even though there's just a few things, there's intense energy, but there's boss energy, there's independent energy, there's extreme energy. And she has a Chiron at 27, which is communication, her communication style. You follow? It can be cold and detached because these are in Aquarius. Her Neptune and Chiron are together. So the wounds, there can be confusions and like clouds of illusion and delusion, or I'm just not sure about friends and group energy, right? But there's a wound connected to that as well. And it can be, again, a reinforcement of a wound connected to an authority figure. But the Neptune so close can kind of paint a different kind of picture on that wound, especially like when we're children, especially it seems like daughters of fathers that aren't in their life for whatever reason. They paint a picture of a fantasy of some sort of, oh, he's a really great guy, he's a really great this and that. And it doesn't have to be necessarily the man always, but an absent parent will say. And they just, oh, well, they're busy, they're really important, they're doing this, they make up a lot of excuses for them, because it's something that they need in their life. They need to believe it, because otherwise the alternative is, I'm not good enough. That's why they're not here, right? And that's harder to deal with. And Neptune can have that kind of effect. Not to say that that's exactly the case at all, but deep wounds in psychology. But power and understanding and healing too. This would be someone who even probably could work possibly in psychology, because they'd be able to kind of be detached from the intensity of that for others, diving into their wounds. But when a person has Capricorn in the 8th house like this, they can deep dive and excavate in the material and the tangible, like literally be excavating, But this thing about the moon and the mom energy and authority figure in Libra as well, and cold energy there, rule, structure, discipline, because the Saturn is here as well. This can, like I said, have moments of connecting deeply, but then also there can be some cold moments. So yeah, maybe I need to flip back and look at your chart, because maybe there's a reason. Let me let me go dig up your chart. I'm really mad at this software right now. Joanne, are you May 26th? I just want to double check, because I have a May 26th or June 3rd. I'm not sure if that's two different people, which it probably is. Yeah, they're both different birth years. Are you 77 or 76? I can't remember what your chart looks like, so I have to go look at it. May 26th. Okay, let me get your 77. Okay, let me get that. Someone asked a question. Is there a preferred amount for gifts? No, there's not. No, it's totally up to you. No, this is really me trying to give people free astrology time, but some people want me to spend more time, so they send a gift. So the amount that you send, that depicts the amount of time that I spend. I mean, it's just fair, right? That's just how I do it. You do what's good for you, what you can afford. Yeah, I'm here to help. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I've been told to do. So that's what I'm doing. All right, Joanne, I'm going to peek at your chart on this other side because, well, I can't do both at once because the system that I use doesn't work right now. So, Joanne, are you a Taurus at 3 degrees on the ascendant? Remember, the Taurus energy is fixed energy. So it's very stubborn. And if this is you, you and your daughter both have the fixed energy on the ascendant and the descendant for that matter. And you have Uranus in the 8th house. Is that you? Oh, Lord. Yeah. Fixed energy. Out of everything in the zodiac, cardinal, mutable, right? It's the fixed energy. It's not that the other signs aren't challenging. They are. But when you're talking fixed energy, it definitely is a notch on the belt of intense. It's higher up. It's even yeah. It's difficult. It's that intense energy where people just, they can go a little far with things because Taurus is Venus and that's desires. And desires can override rationale, And Scorpio and Pluto rule Mars. Or I'm sorry, Mars and Pluto rule Scorpio. And that's we're going to go to battle energy. So it's like, oh God. And Aquarius is fixed energy. Aquarius is fixed. So in her chart, let me see where your Mercury is. Your Mercury's at 10 in Taurus. Oh, shit. Okay. So $10 degrees of Taurus. Okay, the good news is that is a nice trine to her 5th house Virgo cusp line of fun, joy, creativity. So that's a good thing. It also trines her north node. So that's a very good thing. So these are promising things, which is probably moments when you see that, when things connect and it's like, oh, okay, we're on the same page right now. But the friction is going to come in because your 10 degrees ascendant is an exact square to her emotions and to her goals, to her feelings about home and family. She feels that she's the boss. I'm just telling you the truth. Like her chart says, right here, I am the boss. Because it's Leo energy, but that's not all. Even by the degree, she's the boss. Do you see? And then at her midheaven, my goals. This is what I want to do for my future. So group energy can be friends, but individuality is strong at both ends in this chart. This is where we're the mother and the father combined. Well, good luck. So what happens with this energy? Well, let me check her Aries energy. Yeah, of course, Aries is a thing. It is a thing. This doesn't help either. The 29 degrees Jupiter and Uranus. Uranus thinks it's a boss and wants to be independent, thinks it's the adult before it's an adult even, right? This is where we want to break out and break away when we're youngsters. But it's conjunct Jupiter. So it's like go big or go home, right? So sudden, right? Just rebelliousness just bursts out of nowhere. That's 29 degrees. Extreme energy. Unconventional. I won't follow the rules for nothing. Now, the good news is that it's in Pisces. It's in water, which hopefully puts more of a creative spin on it, which hopefully makes it a little bit more easygoing. But I don't know, man. Uranus is electric, man, and electricity and water, not a good combination. So this has got to be a little challenging for her as well. She probably has a high, she probably should be, well, I'm not a medical person, and I don't want to pretend to be a medical person, but there's high sensitivities associated with Pisces energy. You follow? And so she has Pisces in her 11th house. So this is Aquarius and Uranus energy, the nervous system, the neurons. Sometimes these people might have like fibromyalgia, their skin, their feet. Things can be really sensitive on their body in general. Ankle, because it's Uranus. Friends, really sensitive about the well-being of friends. But people who have this connection with Pisces in there, there's a sense of duty, of sacrifice and service, humanitarian energy that kind of lingers over them. But she may have this, I'm going to rebel away from that too. So it looks like a mixed bag, which can make it complicated. But you see the opposition between authority figures natally with the planets other than your own ascendant and descendant, exactly squaring her goals and her home and emotions and her feelings. Okay. Now, over time, Aries energy grows up. It gets more mature. In this chart, she doesn't have anything in Aries. All right. Once I get this other system figured out and redrawn up, she'll probably have objects in Aries because, yeah, this chart only shows a handful of objects. But that just lets us know more things about childlike ways because that's who we are. And she's got it in the 12th, which means a lot of it's going to be hidden from her. But guess what? Guess what? Who else has that? Mom has the same thing. Mom has Aries in her 12th too. So many times when we're dealing with hidden subconscious actions, attitudes, impulses, impatience, that's all Mars. That's all Aries. And that energy takes a while to grow up for everybody. So, it's decades with Aries energy. It takes decades. So sometimes we're better with these people once they mature. We have a better relationship with them once they mature. Okay. Now, the good news is, again, she has her moon in Libra. So mom is going to be important to her. Home and family is going to be important. But there just might be a high ideal connected to those things. But I think there definitely is a deep connection because her Venus at 1 degree is pretty much conjunct your descendant, your partnership energy. So the thing about Scorpio energy that I'm going to explain here is Scorpio energy is wonderful. The thing is it's even better once it learns not to attach too deeply and not to hang on so damn tightly. That's one of the lessons for Scorpio. It's about attachments, and it's learning to trust, to detach, to relax, that it doesn't have to hold on so tightly. It doesn't realize it holds on so tightly that it's going to crush and kill the thing that it's holding. So once it backs off a little bit and gives people some space, it grows up because remember, Mars rules Scorpio, right? So it grows up and it matures and it realizes, okay, chill. Like I need to just focus on me, myself. I need to give other people their space. Like it's just learning to work with life's personalities and energies. So in general, just looking at these two charts quickly like this, I would rather look at them in a synastry way, which when I get this other thing properly working, I can draw you two up as a synastry and take a look at that as well then. But her Mercury at 5 degrees in Virgo is right on your moon. You have a moon. I want you to see this real quick. See her Mercury at 5 degrees? She's got a retrograding Mercury. So she internalizes. Like if she's had a conversation, she's repeating it multiple times in her head. You follow? The other thing with Virgo energy, a sun in Virgo, is sun in Virgo people are striving for perfection. And they're critical towards themselves as well as other people. Now, you're a Virgo moon, correct? And your Virgo moon is in 7 degrees in relationships. Hers is at 17, so authority figure. Well, if you're the authority figure, Mom, then you're getting the brunt of that, right? So this is just, it's kind of mirror energy. That's what our children are for. Our children are born to mirror back to us. And that's really one of the, that's why being a parent is really, yeah, it's really quite mystical experiences, really. It's the hardest work there is. So, yeah, it just comes down to taking ourselves by the hand and, okay, wait a minute. Let me make sure I haven't lost the live stream. I got to find out, am I talking to myself? Okay, good. We're still here. But yeah, it just requires us to do some work. And a lot of the work is on ourselves. And we find that when we do that, then we realize other things change. People approach us differently. Different people approach us, right? Healthy boundaries are important for everybody. So a lot of the energy is just honoring people to have their space and their individuality and to be different and to be unique, and to tell our Virgo energy to back the hell off. And we all have Virgo in our chart, trust me. I have my fair share of all of this energy, and to me, that's when we really grow, honestly, is when we recognize I am a Taurus, I am a Gemini, I am a Cancer, I am a Leo, I am a Virgo, I'm a Libra. When we finally embrace all the signs and we see where all of those signs, how we express that energy in our life for each sign, that's when we're really doing something, because we're like, oh shit, I know how I'm just like that. And then we recognize it. And that's the awareness. That's when our conscience, not just consciousness, but our conscience really evolves. Really evolves. And when we're really doing the deep stuff, we're really doing the soul's work then. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. Honestly, it's a process of growth and maturing. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. I almost broke a record today. Woohoo. Almost broke. Well, actually, no, I used to do 3-hour lives all the time. And then my eyes just started to really bother me from looking at charts for so long. And I need another monitor that's way bigger. And that's why I usually stop at the 2 hours to save my eyeballs. Because like reading the chats, doing the charts. Yeah. Yeah. Doing readings and then doing videos. And it's just a lot of stress on my eyes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Hope it has helped. Yeah, we do this multiple times a week. This Saturday is a private live stream. So if anybody's interested in the private lives, this Saturday is already full. Okay. You just reach me at the email, allastrologee. Make sure you're spelling it correctly. It's not spelled the same way as the channel spells astrology. You see it on the screen right now. LOGEE. If you want to get on the private lives, just message me. I can let you know how that works, how the details and all that. And those have to be set up in advance. Okay. They're private. They're very small. I do not have a lot of people in those. I keep them small on purpose. And yeah, those are the 4th Saturday of every month. Okay. And so then there's other 2 Saturdays where we do this. And then the other Saturday, which is the 2nd Saturday of every month, we do the astrology class. And then on the weekdays, we do the surprise lives. Okay. So you never know. I might be able to go live again this week. We'll see, because Saturday's a private lives. We will see how things work out. We'll check on the software. And so if you're ever here and you want your reading, just come on in, get me your digits, send them to the Gmail account. You could do that too, so I have them ahead of time. And if you want to be involved, like I said, just shoot me an email so that you can be part of whatever you're interested in, whether it's the astrology class or the private lives. Okay? You got to communicate through email for that. All right? So again, this is Allastrology. My name is G. We do free speed readings for everybody. And if you ever want me to spend more time on the chart, you just gift the channel and then we spend more time. And how much time is dependent on the amount that you send as a gift. Okay. So that's how we do it. There's no fee. It's how much do you want to invest in you? Okay. And learn about yourself. So we're all done. We're all set. Thank you, everybody who sent channel gifts. Thank you so much. It helps me to keep helping you. And we are out. Stay safe. Stay cool. Stay calm. Bye-bye.